Well, if you already can't guess from the title, I'm going to show you guys exactly what those links coming off the control arms went to. So, let's take a look at it. So in my last video, I was showing you guys the angle kit and all this stuff that I built. But I have these rods coming off the control arm, going up through the strut tower. And I didn't tell you guys exactly what they were for, even though by the title, I basically already told you guys what they're for now. That's right, the sway bar. So the sway bar is mounted in the engine bay. I have not gotten around to finishing the mounts yet though. They're just held in with one bolt right now. I actually still need to finish boxing these in and building a whole brace to hold them a little sturdier. Now you might be wondering, why would I put the sway bar in the engine bay? What's the point of that? Why not just leave it where it was? Well, as you might see with a lot of angle kits, a lot of the angle kits that get tons of angle and like the WiseFab stuff, I don't know, I'm pretty sure most of them eliminate the front sway bar. I personally really like having a front sway bar. I've driven cars without front sway bars and I'm not a fan of it. So when I had big angle, now that I built the kit that has a lot of steering angle on it, I couldn't use the factory sway bar. The tire would hit the sway bar before it even got remotely close to lock. So I had to either come up with a solution. It was remove the sway bar, which I really didn't want to do, or move the sway bar, which I did want to do. Now, I had many options for doing this. My first option I was going to do, I was going to mount the sway bar right here on the factory radiator support. But the issue with that is the bar would have been, this far away from the control arm. Now, the reason I didn't want to put it so far away is because that would basically, there's a calculation for torque, over a distance. So torque over distance, and the distance of that torsion arm would be so long that it would be putting a lot of torque on that sway bar, which would essentially make it a softer sway bar because of the amount of force through torque, because it's so far away. Doing it in the engine bay, I could keep the arms at a reasonably short distance. I can easily change out the tubing size, which is something I still need to do. That's not the actual tubing I'm going to be running in it. But it was mainly because I wanted to have a nice stiff sway bar, which also allowed me to put the end link out near the end of the control arm, as where if I did it off of here, it would have been on the inside, which would also make it less effective because the amount of motion that you're getting all the way out there is multiplied quite more than it would be all the way in there. So the reasoning for having it in the engine bay, it's going to be a stiffer bar, or it's going to have a stiffer effectiveness, and I'm going to be getting cleared up on any angle interference issues that I might have had. Now, another benefit to having it like this is that I can actually adjust preload left to right on the sway bar. Now, normally you run a sway bar at 0 preload. It's the best way to do it. But sometimes you could be running on a bank track and say you prefer to have a little bit of preload. You want like 2 turns of preload in one side just to make the car unload a specific way coming up to a bank or something like that. So having an adjustable sway bar on the front will be really nice. And also, I can adjust it with the height of the vehicle. So if I lower the vehicle, all I need to do is twist the end link. I'm actually putting preload into it right now by twisting it. Loosen it, tighten it, and then right there, that's 0 preload. That's probably the setting that's going to be ran at most of the time. So to give you kind of an idea of how this will work, I'll just give the vehicle a little bit of a bounce, and you'll actually see the end links move up with the suspension, and the sway bar will move with that. You're actually going to see the body go down, and the sway bar links pretty much stay in the same spot, but you get the idea. So yeah, I still have a lot of work left to do on it. It's obviously doesn't have an alignment on it or anything like that. I need to get coilovers on it so I can actually get the camber and all that set. And once all that's set, I can actually adjust the tie rods for bump steer and actually get those in the correct position, because the way it's all set up right now, it's going to bump steer like crazy. So I got to wait until I get coilovers on it, get the camber and caster all set, and then set the bump steer on it. I actually might even end up needing to cut that knuckle back apart to redesign it for proper bump steer, but who knows? Hopefully not. But I have a feeling I might. So yeah. Anyways, that's going to be it for this one. So subscribe to the channel if you're new, like the video if you liked it, and I will catch you guys later.